Hello, and welcome to my channel. The first video on this channel, in fact, and also welcome to my home. If you want to grab a book off the shelf, go ahead. You need a glass of water? Anything? I don't know, anything I can do for you? I'm happy to do anything you want, really. I am really excited that you're here. It's sort of crazy to think that you could be watching millions of things on YouTube or on another streaming platform. The fact that you're here is, I guess, a miracle. Maybe the fact that any of us is here is a miracle? I don't know. Let's not think about that. Let's just get this thing started. My name is Joseph, and I'm working on a project where I'm memorizing the entirety of Homer's Odyssey in ancient Greek so that I can recite it in a big 24-hour long performance. I don't want to talk too much about that because I want to talk about what's going on here on YouTube right now. So what do I want this to be? So what I'm doing here is going through the whole text. And I'll make a handful of videos on each book. So the Odyssey is 12,110 lines long, and it's cut into 24 books. We would normally call them chapters, but they're called books. So there's book one. I'll start there. I'll talk about the characters. I'll talk about the things that they say and do. I'll point out some other interesting details. And I also want to look at the Greek text itself. I realized that you probably don't know ancient Greek, although I think more people should know ancient Greek, but that's just me. Maybe it's just because I love ancient Greek, the language and the verbs. I think that grammar is interesting. Wow. Okay. So you don't have to worry about knowing ancient Greek. I will, you know how on YouTube they have the sort of overshot and stuff of someone writing while they're talking, and I'll probably do that. It's great. We'll go through it together. Don't worry about anything, said the insane man. So what we'll do here is we'll take all of that information, and as we go along, I want to start looking for correspondences, for contradictions, for patterns. I don't know. I don't want this to just be a synopsis of the Odyssey. I want to look at it and start to piece it together, because what is the Odyssey? Chances are you read it in school, in high school, maybe. Chances are you were told what the themes were. Chances are you were given a reading of the text. You were probably also asked to show your understanding of that reading of the text that was given to you, and you were probably asked to show that you understood these things in some sort of test. And from what I've heard from some people, this experience was miserable. And I don't want this experience to be miserable. So I think the first thing here is that there is no privileged reading of the text. It's in the canon. It's a classic. It sits up on a pedestal behind some glass. I'm suggesting that we should break the glass and take the book down and, read it. Oh my gosh, there's so many videos on YouTube about how to read faster, which is great. Read fast, fine. But there are no videos about reading slowly. And maybe sometimes we should read slowly. Maybe. Why would we want to read slowly? To give ourselves the time to think about what's going on. So much pressure is put on reading quickly and just getting the information in, and I'm going to read it fast and remember it, and I'm just going to know everything. And if I can just read enough books and read enough things and remember everything, then I will just know everything and I will be wonderful. Which might be true. Look, I'm not going to take that away from anybody, and honestly, it sounds pretty nice. But I wonder if we can couple that with slow reading. And we can say, it's not about how fast I go through it. It's about how deeply I go into it. It's about how much attention I actually give to something. And if I slow down and if I give myself the time to go back and to take the things that I've seen and to find the ways that they connect, and then maybe if I give myself some time to think about it, to meditate on it, and I don't mean like meditate, I just mean think about it, to let it sit with you, or to let it sit with you for a while and let it steep, let it percolate, let it the subconscious, right? The subconscious is a thing, I think. I don't know. Oh my gosh, the world is crazy. I think that we should give ourselves the time to let something live in us before we just decide that we understand it. Maybe. I can go through and I can look at all of these things, and I can pull stuff out, and I could even come up with a reading and tell you that that's what it means, but who cares? If I wanted to do that, I would make a series of videos and I'd release them and I would sell them and I would put them behind a paywall and make you pay something so you can see, and I can tell you what the Odyssey is about, but I don't know what it's about. I mean, I know what it's about. Odysseus coming home and killing people. I guess that's what it's about. But what is going on? And I want you to be a part of that, to be a part of finding a reading of this text, of this book that's old and yet it still speaks to us. But I don't think that we should just say that just because it's old that it's necessarily right. The ancient Greeks, they've had a huge impact on our lives, right? Through culture. I mean, the big thing, right? Athenian democracy, this, that tiny thing, democracy, that we still are talking about and trying to figure out, right? So the Greeks have had a huge impact. And it's easy to think that the thoughts and the ideas that are embedded in our culture, that come from them, that they just exist in the way we think and the way we live, and that somehow that's just how it has to be. But I think that we have the opportunity to look at these things, to look at these texts, look at what we've inherited and read it closely, read it slowly, enjoy it. Why do we need to read everything so quickly? It's okay to read quickly. I'm not, raining on anyone's speed reading parade, but it's also okay to give something some time and to consider it and not jump to conclusions about what's going on and its value. Let's look at it all and then talk about it and find the meaning, the reading that works for each individual without... The other thing is that people can take something and they can, erase parts of it and ignore certain things so that it fits what they think it's about. And let's not do that. Let's take as much of it into account as we can and see what's there. Let's not add anything. Let's not add anything extraneous. Let's not extract anything that shouldn't be extracted. And from there, we can see how each one of us responds to what's going on in the text. And your response, your feelings about it, your reactions to what is there is the reading. That is the meaning. And so the meaning is not so much a meaning that we can find in the text, but the meaning is really the collection of all of our meanings. Who cares what I think? I just want to help people have a way into this thing. So, I don't know, come along with me on this adventure. I'm going to just start at the beginning and start talking about it. And the great thing about YouTube is that you can comment. And let's start talking about this. Let's see what this book could actually mean to us. So if this sounds interesting to you, and you want to, keep watching these videos, which I hope you do, what are you going to need? First of all, nothing. If you just want to watch the videos, great. Or you could get a translation. As far as English translations go, there's Emily Wilson, there's Fagles, but he does add lots of stuff that's not in the Greek text. So there's Wilson, there's Fagles, there's Fitzgerald and Lattimore. Those are good ones if you don't already have a copy of the Odyssey. Those are all pretty good. I also really like a version, it's Oxford University Press, and it's translated by Anthony Verity. I do love the cover, but we all know about books and covers. What's nice about this translation is that it follows the Greek text pretty closely. It's not poetic. It's a pretty direct, this is what's in the Greek text, this is basically what it means in English, and he follows that pretty closely. So for this, it might be a good choice. It's not the most fun read if you're just looking for a nice English reading experience. Then Fagles and Wilson and those others are better. Alternatively, you could get the Loeb Classical Library editions. So these are sort of great because they're dual language. You have Greek on one side and the English on the other. The English translation is a bit old-fashioned. It's fine. But if you think that the Greek language is interesting and you want to be able to look at it and have it for your reference as I go through stuff, because I will be showing Greek text and pointing things out, this could be an interesting way to go. I'll put links down below to Anthony Verity from Oxford University Press and also to the Loeb Classical Library. Oh, this is also 2 volumes. And just for reference, it usually comes with a cover that looks something like this. My covers are somewhere else, so they're just green. So I think that's it. Oh, the last thing. Oh, the thing that I don't want to do. If you like the video, you should like it. If you didn't like this video, which some of you didn't, you should definitely put the thumbs down button. If you want to look at this text and see what's there, you can come back periodically and see what's new on your own schedule, or you can subscribe and you can get notifications and you'll be notified, because that's what notifications are, when a new video comes out. And if that sounds interesting to you, then you should do it. But anyway, it's a weird thing. If this sounds fun, please, I really want you here. I don't know what's going to happen, which I think is sort of exciting, and I hope you do too. And so if you do decide to come along, then I'll see you real soon. Bye.